Hey, Viking fans, if you're watching this, you're probably getting ready for the Chicago Bears getting ready to lose to the New England Patriots in a rematch of 1985 Super Bowl. Let's get going. Let's talk about the Vikings and how they're self-scouting next in 3, 2, 1. Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Before we begin today, I want to have you go down, click subscribe, like, and leave a comment. That helps my channel out. That's what tells YouTube to share it to other people. The more you like, the more you comment, the more this video gets put out there. I always try to comment back. Please do that. I want to hear what you think the Vikings need to improve on their defense for the rest of the season, so we can get to that bowl, baby. Get to that Super Bowl, baby. Let's do it. The Packers lost. The Lions lost. The Bears are about to lose in an hour or two. Let's go. As I'm recording this, I'm just happy watching the fact that the Vikings are in first place. Probably two and a half games up right now. Let's go. Got the Cardinals coming up. How are we going to improve before we play the Cardinals? Well, self-scouting, better game plan. That's what we do in a preseason. Honestly, it's coming at a good time. We're 5-1. We could have been worse. Our offense has struggled. Our defense has struggled. We just limited the mistakes, and that's why we're winning. It's awesome. I love it. Causing turnovers is great, but you cannot rely on that every game. We need to make less mistakes to win these games. How about we step on the gas on both sides of the ball, make it happen, control our own destiny, not have to rely on the other team to get 10 penalties, the other team to lose the ball. Let's go, man. Let's talk about the defense. This man right here, Kevin O'Connell, is scouting our defense, and he's gonna come up with some things, and I hope he sees what I see, because I know everything. I'm just kidding. I don't know crap, but I am not blind enough to realize that there are certain things on this defense that could improve. Let's talk about it. Number 5. Not the most serious, but Danielle Hunter, man. We need to get more creative with Danielle Hunter. You cannot run fast running backwards. He should never be in pass coverage, but I know he's an outside linebacker now, so it's going to happen. But how about we just move him around, not make him solely an outside linebacker? We had great success of moving him inside a couple of games under Mike Zimmer, where he actually was a tackle, and he got after it. I don't see why not on passing downs. You couldn't move him into the interior line on the 3 line positions, rather than having him always an outside rusher, always on the left side, always the outside linebacker. Move him around. Maybe he is outside linebacker a few times where he has to drop into pass coverage, but really, that should not happen. It should not happen that often. Shouldn't happen at all. But I know you can't avoid it all the time. But put Danielle Hunter in positions he can win, and that is with his hand on the ground, going after the quarterback. Anywhere on that line, he will dominate. If he's the outside linebacker, have him the guy that's rushing, one of the 4. Come on. Get this guy after the quarterback any way you know how. We're underutilizing him. He's still got life, man. I think he only got 3 sacks right now. He plays well against both the run, and he gets after the quarterback. So that's where I'm at with that, man. Get Danielle Hunter anywhere on that line and rushing that quarterback. Linebackers. We cannot leave these guys to cover the entire field. It just can't happen, man. It can't happen. We cannot always be playing outside leverage on our cornerbacks, funneling everybody into the linebacker position, always playing zone defense. They're doing crossing routes, just like I said in our offensive scouting that we should be doing crossing routes. Well, that's where our linebackers are getting eaten up. They're having to cover the entire field. So, guys, we need to help out our linebackers, and I'll talk about that soon. These guys should not be required to cover the whole middle of the field. Shouldn't happen. We'll talk about that in a little bit, how we could help them out. And here, I don't know what the actual term for this is. I'm just calling it a flood package, where we overload one side of the line and bring it. Force the quarterback to the side he doesn't want to go. Overload the left side if he's right hand and make him roll out left. That's the kind of thing, creativity will improve this defense if we can mix it up, disguise it, mix it up, bring the house more often. I know we've done it. I'm just saying, hey, a little more, just a little more, tweak it a little bit. Get these guys overloading the weakest part of their line and get after it. Make the quarterback go where you want him to go. And I'll talk about why in a second. If we're getting creative and we're forcing the situation, either flooding one side of the line, overload. That's the word I wanted. I got flood it. Let me change that. Overload packages. There we go. The next thing I want to talk about is blitzing. If you're blitzing or you're overloading a line, and you're bringing 5 or 4 more, but 5 most likely, and you're overloading or blitzing, have a spy on the running quarterbacks. There's so many times we got after that quarterback, he got away from the pressure and was on his way, man. He was on his way. There were occasions we brought Asamoah in, and he was playing middle linebacker, and he sat there waiting as a spy. I say to do that more often. Put Daniil on the line. Bring him. Have Asamoah come play outside linebacker or middle linebacker or whatever. Get him in there and have him spy. After you overload one side of the line or you blitz, have a guy there to spy, especially against the Cardinals when their quarterback can run the ball, man. That would be perfect. Force this guy to where you want him to go and have that spy waiting for him. That's what I'm talking about. The last thing is, for heaven's sake, disguise your coverage. Don't be always 7 to 10 yards deep, 20 deep for the safeties. Middle linebackers, you already know they're going to cover the whole middle of the field. Bring everybody up to the line, drop people out late, or have people come back and move them up right before the snap, okay? Do it when he's going to put his hands underneath the center or whatever. Do it while the guy's in motion. Cause chaos. There's too often I've watched this. We're set on defense. We don't move at all. Boom. They know exactly where we're going to be, and they adjust to it. Quarterbacks, it's just obvious. I don't need to be a scientist to figure this out. Quarterbacks don't want to be confused. They don't want to think, especially if they're getting up to the line late. They won't have time to think about it or to adjust or call it audible. Disguise your defense. Work on that, man. It will help the defense out so much. I know we're bend not break. We're causing turnovers, but we're giving up so many yards. So many yards. These aren't. We haven't played a team with a winning record currently, and that is except for Philly, and they crushed us. So we're playing in a house money right now, and we need to improve. And where we can improve is disguise your coverages. That goes into everything I'm talking about. Danielle Hunter playing everywhere. Linebackers not having to cover the entire field, or at least disguise the fact that you're going to have them cover the whole field. Overload packages, having a spy, confusing the offense, and you do all this with disguising your coverage. That's it. Skull Vikings. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Skull Vikings. See you next time. Cue the music. Thank you, Viking fans, for listening. Make sure you catch my other episodes. Also, make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Skull Vikes.